Hello everyone, welcome to this session of DAW, that is daily answer writing. I hope that I'm audible, I'm visible. I'll wait for 30 seconds so that I can get the response whether we are not having any kind of technical difficulty. A very good morning to all the students. Good morning Dharmendra, good morning everyone else also. So we are dealing with GS3 and you are watching a daily answer writing session where we are trying to decode that how we can start our answer writing journey and how with every one question every day we are trying to grow ourselves in the journey of civil services mains answer writing. Those who are joining us for the first time, this is a live session and we keep it interactive. So if you have any doubt while we are trying to address the question, you can raise your doubts. If you have any general doubt also regarding the answer writing, we will try to address that. So do not hesitate in asking your questions. Okay. And now let's start with the question of the day. So question is that evaluate, the directive keyword is evaluate. We will talk about it, that what is the importance of this work evaluate. Okay. We have been learning, just if you are new to the session, we have shared that how there are certain specific directive which is given in the answer. These are called directive keywords. Okay. The directive keyword here is evaluate. Just to give you the importance of what is the meaning of evaluate, evaluate says, let's say that your mother is sitting in front of you and they are evaluating your performance in the school. Then they will say some good things. Then they will say that no yaar, you are getting only 90%. You need certain more changes in your approach. These things are lacking and then you will get better. That is the meaning of evaluate. If your mother was giving an illustration of your performance in school, then she would be just illustrating the kind of achievements you have made in the school. There she will not be talking about challenges as such. Why? Because someone has asked, illustrate the performance of your child in the school. Okay. So when the directive keyword is illustrate, then we just have to tell the good things. But when there is evaluate, we have to tell the kind of changes that any kind of scheme has done for the issue. But then we also have to tell that what are the things which are lacking. What are the kind of futuristic things which can be done. Okay, always remember that for evaluate. Evaluate the role of schemes like MGNREGA in promoting minor irrigation projects. So they are specifically talking about promoting the minor irrigation projects, and how does the involvement of such schemes contribute to community engagement and sustainable water use. Now what they have done is they have mixed two topics. What are those two topics? They have mixed up the MGNREGA and they have mixed the topic of water irrigation. This is a topic that usually comes in economy, and this is a topic that is also part of the economy, but they both are in different headers in the syllabus. Okay, so how they have fused both the topics, how they are asking about what is the kind of impact that MGNREGA has created on the small irrigation projects. Okay, and then they are asking that because of these kind of schemes, How do you think that it has led to community engagement and sustainable water use? Now it is a 15 marker question. It is a 15 marker question, and we will try to see that how to form the subparts of this question. First, we will write an introduction. We will see what all can come in introduction. Then we have to evaluate the role of MGNREGA. We have to evaluate the role of MGNREGA in promoting minor irrigation projects. So we will tell that MGNREGA vis-a-vis minor irrigation projects, what is the kind of promotion it has done, how it has helped, and what are the kind of challenges that it faces. Why? Because we have to talk about the evaluation. Now, one point which students often ask me that, sir, why cannot we write it as negative of MGNREGA for irrigation projects? Now just imagine that MGNREGA is a flagship scheme of the government. Why will government run any kind of scheme which is having any negative impact, even if one negative impact is there? Okay. So even if we are addressing a question on MSP and we are asked that evaluate the MSP, then we will tell the positive, we will tell the kind of significance of this scheme, the kind of changes that this scheme has brought in, and then we will not tell the negative of MSP. Anything which government is doing, do not use the word negative. You can tell the challenges which remain. You can tell the implications. As a bureaucrat, you will always be judged with the words that you use. In the prelims, you are not being judged on any kind of, usage of the word. Why? Because everything UPSC is giving, they are just checking whether you have the capability to write mains or not. They just want some serious candidates to write the mains. That is the whole role of prelims. In the mains, you have to pick up your words carefully. So do not write the subheading as negative of MGNREGA or the negative points in MGNREGA, why MGNREGA is bad. Do not write this kind of stuff. Okay. Challenges would be an appropriate subheading because we are evaluating. Okay. Then we will come to the next part, that how it has led to community engagement and how it has led to sustainable use. Got it? Now, because we have given certain kind of challenges and we are talking about the kind of irrigation facilities, how it is sustainable, how it is creating community engagement, how it is leading to water use, you can make certain kind of futuristic outlook towards irrigation management. And you should try to somehow link it with MGNREGA also. We will discuss that because in the answer we have discussed about both the benefits and the challenges. That is why we must also give certain kind of futuristic outlook where we tell what all can be done to meet the future needs of the farmers, right? And then we will conclude. So the first thing is that I hope that there is a consensus on this structure. Okay? Because this is the most important part in civil services mains exam. Okay? I have shared this before also. If there are any new students who are joining this session, I am telling you that I am sharing my experience of 3 mains. I have written 3 mains, consecutive civil services 3 mains. If there is one thing which is very important in civil services mains answer writing, that is to have a clarity on what kind of structure we will have for an answer, because अंदर के points हमेशा बन जाएंगे. अंदर के points example वो जैसे जैसे आप you will start reading, you will read different current sources, newspaper, you will end up getting points. But what is important is to not miss out on any subpart. Why? If you will miss out on the challenges, you will lose minimum 1.5 marks. Minimum 1.5 marks. Because why? It is not explicitly asked in question, but we have to evaluate the scheme. We don't just have to tell about the scheme, we have to evaluate it. So by the virtue of evaluation, we have to tell the challenges. Then if you have told the challenges, you also have to give some kind of futuristic outlook. At least half marks or 0.75 marks will be given for this also. Okay. But the main demand of the question, without which question will not be incomplete, obviously, that is how it has led to community engagement, sustainable use of water use, and what are the kind of implications it has on small water irrigation projects. Okay. Yogesh and Bulbul, good morning. Now let's come to how to address each of the part that we have discussed. So in the introduction, what can we do? Either we can talk about irrigation or we can talk about MGNREGA. Within the whole question, you can give a look to this structure. We will never get the scope to discuss MGNREGA. We will never get the scope to discuss that what is MGNREGA, what are its features, because that is not the exact demand of the question. But we want to address it also. So the best way would be that in the introduction itself, you tell about MGNREGA. Now, even to define MGNREGA, there are different ways. There are different ways to do it. Firstly, you can tell some of the basic features, like it provide 100 days of work per year. What kind of work? Unskilled work. In which areas? Rural areas. Right? To create employment. This is one kind of approach that you can use, where you define the basic features. Here you can tell how there is equal pay for equal wages. Equal pay, equal wages, equal pay for equal work. Equal wage for equal work. Okay. After this, what is other way? What is the other way in which you can introduce a question? You can tell the philosophy behind MGNREGA. You can tell the philosophy behind MGNREGA, that how MGNREGA is based on rights-based approach. What is the right-based approach? Earlier, there were different schemes by the government, and they were running at the will of the government. That government can start that scheme, government can end that scheme. If government is giving you certain kind of incentives, it is well within the right of the government that it stops the scheme whenever they want it. But what is happening is that we are seeing enlargement of article number 21. What we are seeing is that right to life is getting expanded. Right to life is getting expanded in what form? It is getting expanded in right to education. It is getting expanded in the form of right to information, and how even right to work. Even right to work is a part of Article 21. So how the rights based approach based on Article 21, right to education में हम क्या देख रहे हैं? That there is Right to Education Act. Right to information के लिए we have seen the RTI Act. Right to work, MGNREGA. Right to food, National Food Security Act. Right to food, National Food Security Act. So this approach, this school of thought that people have different rights and it is coming from that right based approach, that part is based on the philosophy of, this is based on the philosophy of Amartya Sen's capability approach. Amartya Sen's capability approach says that you do not have to just, provide any kind of subsidy to the people. You do not have to just give any kind of service to the people. You have to give those kind of services which enhance the capability of the people. So if you are giving right to work, you are enabling the people. Got it? Yogesh is asking whether we can give the current data about MGNREGA. Yes, you can give the data, but we will try, if you are giving any data, try to relate it to the irrigation part, that how much of MGNREGA workers are involved in the irrigation, or you can even tell the amount of funds that have been allocated to MGNREGA. Okay. So this is the kind of introduction that you can make when it comes to the MGNREGA aspect. अब दूसरा तरह का इंट्रोडक्शन क्या हो सकता है? That you can also tell that how more than 80% of the agriculture in India is rain fed. That is, we have very less irrigation facilities. Then you can also tell that how along with that there is a problem of unemployment. Which kind of unemployment? Specifically the kind of disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? That lot of people are involved in the farming and they are not enhancing the productivity. They are not making any effective productivity gains to the agriculture. Okay. So that kind of employment is not really productive employment, it is disguised unemployment. It is disguised unemployment. So we have the problem of unemployment, we have lack of irrigation facilities. So how MGNREGA, it can be used to solve the problem of unemployment. It can be used to solve the problem of creating infrastructure, and it can be used to solve the problem of doubling farmer income as per the Dalwai panel report. So my goal is not really to bombard you with information. My goal is not that. There are a lot of sources in the market to do that for you. There are compilations, there are newspapers. I am not doing that for you. Neither I am, coming to the session where I have prepared in my mind by giving 1 hour to this question that what can be done regarding this. My goal is that with least amount of time, how in the best way we can come up with the innovative solution. So this is one of the good ways that you can tell that how we have a problem of rain-fed agriculture, there is not enough irrigation facilities, and there is also the problem of disguised unemployment, and how MGNREGA can solve this issue by providing employment, infrastructure, and at the same time doubling farmers' income as per the Dalwai panel report. This will make a decent introduction. 15 marker question है ये. So I hope that introduction में किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं होगा. एक बार थोड़े इंट्रोडक्शंस देख लेते हैं जो हमें आज स्टूडेंट्स ने भेजे. MGNREGA Act passed in 2009. See, one of the ways that you should do is when you are writing MGNREGA Act, okay, and you want to share that you know about that it is passed in 2009. Rather than writing passed in, just write MGNREGA Act 2009. This is itself making it clear that you want to tell about which year it was passed in. Okay, so आप यहीं पे लिख दीजिए वो. It provides employment to people in their own area, thus enhancing the community engagement, promoting sustainable water use by promoting micro irrigation. अगर आप अभी यहां तक की definition पढ़ेंगे, you will notice that the candidate has not really used any new keyword. They have just used the keywords which are given in the question itself, है ना? That they are talking about enhancing community engagement, about promoting sustainable water use by promoting minor irrigation. But the moment they have used example, at the same time इस question का value बढ़ जाएगा. Why? Example, मनरेगा workers are key players in मिशन अमृत सरोवर. इन्होंने इतना अच्छा एग्जाम्पल लिख दिया. They have the candidate जिनकी भी एक कॉपी है, they have used such good example that how this is being done under mission Amrit Sarovar mission. What is Amrit Sarovar mission? Government has said that we will identify certain local water storage bodies within the districts, and because India was completing 75 years, that is why in 75 districts they were rejuvenating those water bodies, those local water bodies, है ना, so that water can be used in the later times. Very very important mission, mission Amrit Sarovar. ठीक है, Prime Minister himself talked about this mission in his Independence Day speech on 15th August. So introduction was average till this point, but the moment the candidate used the example, at that very time this introduction became a good introduction. Okay, let's see some more copies regarding the introduction. So एक introduction और है हमारे पास ये. MGNREGA is a flagship social welfare scheme. You can also tell that how right to work is also part of the DPSPs. How right to decent work is part of DPSPs, and that is why we see the MGNREGA. That guarantees 100 days of wage employment per year to rural household of unskilled manual work. So why this introduction is good? They are starting with the concept of MGNREGA and they are using the relevant keywords. They are using all the relevant keywords when it comes to MGNREGA. That 100 days unemployment, unskilled employment per year for rural households, while primarily enhancing livelihood security. Its impact extends to water reservoir development and management too. यहीं पे अगर ये एग्जाम्पल अमृत सरोवर मिशन लिख देते, then this introduction would have become perfect. So we have seen that how examples can really make a change. So we must write these kind of examples. Got it? Let's read the comments. Yogesh, the difference is that, so Yogesh has asked a question that, sir, can we use the direct keywords from the question in our introduction? See, the keywords that are there in the question, those keywords are the directive to form the structure or the different subparts of your answer. But if there are 4 keywords in the introduction and आप वही 4 keywords से पूरी introduction लिख देंगे, then what will happen is examiner will feel like you have just written the question itself. So you must tell something unique. The context should be the same. What is the difference? The difference is that how in this copy they have given some information, they have given some context about the MGNREGA, that how it was launched in 2000, वो पहली copy थी, that how it is a social welfare scheme, 100 days of wage employment per year to rural household, unskilled manual work. The goal is that keyword will obviously be there, but there should be some more context or definition which is kind of adding to the question, not just repeating the question. है ना? I hope that is clear. Now we will look towards the next part, that is how MGNREGA will lead to promoting the minor irrigation projects. So when you want to complete the answer on this subpart, the most important part is that you should have a clarity in your mind that what are minor irrigation projects. एक बार पहले देखते हैं कि what are minor irrigation projects. What are major irrigation projects? If certain very big canals, if certain very big canals are formed, for example, there is a canal that is coming from, let's say, Punjab to Madhya Pradesh, Punjab to Rajasthan. Those are the major irrigation projects. Okay. But there are certain minor irrigation projects like the ponds. Okay. Like these small drains and rivers. Like the different kind of check dams. Different kind of off-river projects. This is surface water runoff projects. What is surface water runoff projects? What are these projects? For example, imagine a scenario that a river is flowing from a valley. Then what people will do is that they will make a stream out of that river. They will use a small turbine here, and then they will rejoin the water back to the river. These kind of projects are called as surface water runoff projects. So even they are part of the minor irrigation projects, that they are solving the local problems. Okay. So you must be having an understanding that what are minor irrigation projects. Only then you will be able to generate different points that how MGNREGA is solving that problem. Okay. Now we will try to generate points. So MGNREGA, the first thing is, the good part is that they are well aware about the local resources. They are well aware about the local resources which are available. They are well aware about the topography. So because of these kind of knowledge, they bring certain expertise which is of local nature. And what is the implication of this? That this leads to resource use efficiency. This leads to resource use efficiency. It leads to optimal utilization of resources, especially water resources. What is the example you can give? The example you can give is surface water runoff projects in Himachal Pradesh. Very different gram panchayats, they have set up small hydro projects, small irrigation projects through these surface runoff projects, where they are using these irrigation facilities to draw the water. Okay. So the most important point is that how local resources are used in this. Then the next part is that they create infrastructure. What kind of infrastructure? Different kind of ponds. So in this also there are two things. Either you create new ponds, but you can also start maintenance of the existing ponds. Example, desiltation. So ponds and the water storage bodies, they suffer the issue of siltation, that their carrying capacity, their their carrying capacity gets reduced, and that is why they are not able to store the water. So how MGNREGA workers can involve in the desiltation, and they can create effective capacity for the storage of water in the minor irrigation project. Okay. There is one very good example where MGNREGA workers were involved in the water conservation. That scheme is called Jal Swalamban Yojana. This scheme was being run by the Rajasthan government, where they were employing the MGNREGA workers to create different water structures for the minor irrigation. Okay. Like different check dams were created, different ponds were created. One very good other example you can use is that how Tarun Bharat Sangh, it's an NGO. It is run by Rajendra Singh. He is called as the waterman of India. Why? Because he is giving advice to Gram Panchayats. He is giving advice to Gram Panchayats that how you can reshape your water management techniques through MGNREGA workers. So Rajasthan ke andar he is called as the waterman because he's trying to cooperate with the MGNREGA workers through the Gram Panchayat, that how you can create water structures and try to revive the traditional water structures. Then one very more other important scheme from Madhya Pradesh is Kapil Dhara Yojana. Kapil Dhara Yojana. Even under Kapil Dhara Yojana, they are trying to go for water conservation. They are trying to protect the moisture of the land so that sustainable agriculture can happen. Okay. Rain water harvesting कर सकते हैं आप. So how rainwater harvesting structures, different kind of equipments and techniques can be employed by them, right? Then how they can also do drought mitigation. What is drought mitigation? That there are certain areas which are very much prone to the drought. So how under the accelerated integration benefit program, AIBP, accelerated integration benefit program, there are provisions where MGNREGA workers can enhance the capacity of the local structures. So these are some of the pointers through which you can tell that what kind of changes are being brought in this regard. एक बार देखते हैं how it can be presented. So how MGNREGA worker is providing cheap manual labor. Example under the Mission Amrit Sarovar. Community-led development. Accurate implementation. Example, where to construct pond near to the plough field or within the village. So how they are aware about the local realities. Community development इन्होंने बताया. Drought mitigation. MGNREGA contribution to drought mitigation in additional source of water. Judicious use of capital. So because they are aware about, Kashish is asking which resources would be preferred for such developmental schemes. See, resources means that you have certain financial resources which are there for the village, which are there with the Gram Panchayat. Then you have your land, you have your irrigation farms, you have your rivers. So they are aware about the resources, the natural resources of the region, rather than some outside agency. So how they are, because they have that kind of context, so they can do better planning in that area. Judicious use of capital. MGNREGA funds are already get used for making water conservation and harvesting structures like dams and ponds. Environmental benefits. Helps promoting soil conservation, biodiversity. Okay. Now और देख लेते हैं. क्या हमें मिले हैं? रोल ऑफ प्रमोटिंग माइनर इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट्स, क्रिएशन ऑफ वाटर कंजर्वेशन. एग्जाम्पल, इन महाराष्ट्र मनरेगा फंड क्रिएट्स चेक डैम्स, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन होगा, improved agriculture productivity होगी. One more keyword which you can write is that how this will lead to per crop more per drop more crop, per drop more crop. This is one of the keyword which has been used to enhance the productivity in farming sector. ड्रॉट मिटिगेशन, ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज. ठीक है, ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज में आप क्या बोल सकते हैं? यू कैन इवन टेल दैट हाउ दे कैन ऑल्सो हेल्प इन एक्विफायर मैनेजमेंट, वेयर दे ट्राई टू कीप द सॉइल एरेटेड so that the percolation can happen and the groundwater can get recharged. Okay. Role of MGNREGA in promoting minor irrigation projects: siltation, removing the silting, building of artificial embankments. This is good keyword. Artificial embankments are ultimately check dams, right? Linking of canals, MGNREGA workers are engaged there from the initiation of the projects. Maintenance of the projects like desilting, rise of earth banks. So this way of presentation is good. All the points we have discussed in this section, but we have not discussed that how we can present. So the way of presentation is decent when it comes to these answers. Okay. Now we will come to that part, that what are the challenges? What are the challenges? Challenges can be that minor irrigation project today, these days, they are very complicated. They require certain kind of skills and that are lacking. How there is no kind of training centers. How there are lack of funds that are allocated for the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act scheme. Then how there is poor maintenance of these kind of minor irrigation projects. How there is also lack of the audit. How the Gram Panchayat usually don't go for that kind of coordination with the MGNREGA projects. Okay. So challenges में आप जनरल पॉइंट्स भी लिखेंगे तो चलेगा, क्योंकि चैलेंजेस हमेशा जनरली होंगे यार, चैलेंजेस कोई बहुत ऐसे यूनिक चैलेंजेस नहीं होंगे. So these will be the challenges, and then we will come to the part that how it helps in community engagement and sustainable use. कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट कैसे होगा? कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट कैसे होगा? बिकॉज दे विल बी पार्टिसिपेटरी अप्रोच. How there is participatory approach? That people are involved in the decision making in a collaborative manner along with Gram Panchayat. Second ARC has also said that there is need for participative approach, where people themselves, they are also executing, they are managing, they are also monitoring these kind of projects. Okay. Then the second thing will be that how there will be rise of social capital. When people will work together, there will be rise of social capital. How it will lead to gender equality? How it will lead to lack of discrimination as per different castes and class? Why? Because they are all working together. So social issues solve honge. Gender equality, because when women are getting equal wages, they will also get financial independence. Then how even creches are provided at the MGNREGA sites. Some of the sites in Odisha, They also provide different crochet mechanisms so that women can get part of it. Okay. How the local governance will improve. Why? Because people are ultimately watching that how panchayat is responsible for these kind of works, so they will vote more responsibly. This will lead to better local governance. These are the points when it comes to the community engagement. Now, for sustainable use, कैसे होगा? We have talked about that how there will be better resource use efficiency. There will be better percolation of water. This will lead to recharge of aquifers. How when there will be minor irrigation and watershed projects, then we can also see that there will be per drop more crop. Other thing that we will see is that minor irrigation projects, we can also see that if certain skill, if the MGNREGA workers are giving some kind of semi skills, then how they can also go for micro irrigation projects, installment of micro irrigation projects and their maintenance. Even that is one good point. Then how we are seeing that the issue of climate change is there, and this will create the MGNREGA workers when they will go for micro irrigation. When they will go for micro irrigation projects, this will lead to resilience towards the climate change. Let's see some of the points in the answers. I found some good points there. Local decision making होगी, employment generation होगा, skill development होगा, social cohesion होगा. What examples are giving? Example, the workers working together, developing mutual trust and social bonds. How it is leading to local development, how there is participation, how there is planning and execution. So as such कोई बहुत ज़्यादा अंदर यहाँ पे, if we are telling about that what kind of how it is leading to community engagement, then we will not have very specific data or something. Just dimensions ही सोच सकते हैं हम. Then how it is leading to sustainable use of water, supporting watershed management, rural infrastructure development, canal linking projects, promoting of drip projects, drip and sprinklers, economic benefit through sustainable use. Example, MGNREGA 2.0, aquaculture in ponds, thus irrigation plus fishing. You can call this as integrated farming system. This is example of integrated farming system. So how these kind of projects can also create integrated farming system, which is ultimately more sustainable in nature. Education and awareness, soil moisture hoga, trenching and bunding, this is very good point. Making water conservation structure, check dams. So these are how that there will be sustainable use of water. Then water harvesting methods, decentralized irrigation, sprinkler honge, drip hoga, enhanced micro, the writing is not clear, enhanced water storage. NABARD enables the prioritizing, I think writing is not clear, I'm not able to read. NABARD enables in setting up of irrigation projects, promote community engagement. So फंडिंग से रिलेटेड कुछ लिखा है इन्होंने, बट कुछ उतना क्लैरिटी नहीं मिली क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं. प्रोग्राम्स लाइक एक्सेलरेटेड इंटीग्रेटेड बेनिफिट प्रोग्राम, दिस इज गुड. That how accelerated integrated benefit program, it's a very old scheme. How it will lead to better community participation. Community engagement hoga, watershed management hoga. This is decent. This point is very good. The way this copy has presented the challenges, That is very good. Let's see what challenges are there. Insufficient funds. Example, decrease in MGNREGA allocation. State government disinterested in centrally sponsored scheme. Example, PM कृषि सिंचाई योजना. ग्राम सभा उतना कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट नहीं कर रहा है. लैक इन एडेप्टेशन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. फार्मर रेस टू वाटर इंटेंसिव क्रॉप्स. दिस पॉइंट इज ऑल्सो गुड. सो चैलेंजेस में आपको इरिगेशन सिस्टम, फार्मिंग एंड फंड्स, मतलब चैलेंजेस है सब जगह के ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही होते हैं यार, कि टेक्नोलॉजी का इशू होगा, फंड्स नहीं होंगे, फंक्शनरी नहीं होंगे, तो वो 3F वाला मॉडल आपको यहां पे भी रखना ही पड़ेगा. ओके, so these were the best copies. Now how you will give a way forward? For the way forward, you can talk about that how MGNREGA needs more funds. How MGNREGA need more funds. How the workers, they should be given some kind of skills. How can the skills be given? You can talk about the National Apprenticeship Mission. You can talk about the Ustad Mission, Ustad scheme. There you can give some semi skills to these workers so that they can go for better kind of projects like micro irrigation. Then one very good recommendation, because ultimately the question is about water, you can give the recommendation of Mihir Shah committee. That ultimately how agriculture is the major consumer of water, and rather than supply side management, we need to go for demand side management. What is demand side management? That the demand for water will have to be reduced. For that we can go for millets. Right? Very good point made by one of the copies, that how water intensive crops are there, how it is leading to virtual water export, right? If we are exporting rice to certain countries, then that is virtual water export. So how we have to go, as per the Mihir Shah committee, we have to go towards demand side management and resource use efficiency. These are the points. Then you can also tell that how government is coming up with composite water management index. Government has come up with Atal Bhujal Yojana. These are the Atal Bhujal Yojana. It is a World Bank sponsored scheme under which they are going for sustainable water use. Okay. On these lines, you can conclude the question. So that is it for today's session. I hope that कोई इसमें डाउट नहीं होंगे. बहुत ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन था आज का, कोई एज सच बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं था. एंड अगेन वी विल मीट टुमारो 11:30 AM in the morning. Tomorrow is Friday, I think. Yes, we will meet with a new question on GS3, and you can subscribe yourself to this GS3 DAW that we are running for the month of December, where every Monday to Saturday at 10 AM we will give you a question. You have to write that question in the next 24 hours. That is, by 10 AM next morning, you have to submit the answer to us. Within 24 to 48 hours, we provide the evaluation, and then we come for the discussion of that question. Okay. So do join the program for the DAW to enhance your productivity in the answer writing, and we will meet you again tomorrow at the same time, 11:30 AM in the morning. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye and take care.